Welcome to The Woman in the Work. I'm your host, Holly Lambrecht, and I'm really glad you're here. This podcast is about the relationship between the woman we're becoming and the work we're building in the world. Because behind every business, every dream, and every big decision, there's quieter work happening within us too. And here, we talk about both. I was sitting at my desk in my office and I could hear my wife. She was out in the kitchen. And I had just gotten off the phone. All in the same week, I had 4 projects come into my inbox for my business. And I am extremely intuitive and choose projects that are very aligned to the work that I want to do. And I looked at every single project, and every one of them was a yes. And then I froze for a moment. And I want to be really honest about what happened in that moment in my body, because it wasn't exactly what you would expect. Because yes, I was celebrating, right? Celebrating all of the growth and how good it felt that something was finally coming back to me. But almost immediately, my stomach was twisting and turning, and I felt so uncomfortable. And I felt my shoulders just tighten up really, really tight to the top of my ears. And this question just started running through my head. When is the bad coming? Because there's this rule that I've just been living by. When you get 3 good things in a row, my body goes on alert. Something bad is going to come next. So we need to brace ourselves, right? Well, I didn't choose this rule that has just been in my life. I couldn't even tell you when I actually learned this. I just know that it's been there and been in my brain and in my body my entire life. Kind of like that thing of just sitting down there waiting, that little low noise in your body, right? So what I do is I count the good things, and then at some point when the count gets to be too high, I start to pull back. And not always fully pulling back, but I've pulled back just enough that when the bad stuff comes, I'm at least ready, and I'm not fully wide open when that hits. And then I'm at least a little bit protected, right? Man, what a way to live. But that's how I've been living for so long that when I sat at my desk this last week with the absolute best news in my inbox sitting in my hands that I'd gotten in the longest time, my body just started counting. Back when I had my boutique, it was holding on too tight, right? Holding on to that dream, holding on to, I was going to get this done. I was going to complete what I had started. I couldn't actually celebrate anything because celebrating felt like letting my guard down. And nope, I couldn't do that. In relationships, it has always been about proving myself before the other person could decide I wasn't enough and then leave. And then in childhood, I just remember that feeling, this like constant waiting, like something good would happen and I'd already be looking for what was coming next. 3 good things and then 1 bad. That is the math that my body has done automatically. And I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about when I say that. It's that like that quiet tax that you put on your own joy because somewhere along the way you've learned that good things have a limit, like a ceiling you can't get past, right? That being too happy is almost risky. Like if you get too happy, you're asking for the bad thing to come next. So my wife came in from the kitchen and I looked at her and I had tears in my eyes. And I said, I'm nervous. And then I said, but I did this. I'm doing this. Both things at the same time. And then I heard her say, like, good job, babe. She was so proud. And she knows how long this has been building for me and how hard that I have pushed. And I just cried. I didn't have words. I only had tears in that moment. I've been sitting with this moment ever since this happened because I think what was actually happening was my body was trying to receive something that it didn't really know how to hold in that moment. And it wasn't like the success, but like the pride. But even more than that, it was like the possibility that this is maybe allowed to stay here in my body, that I'm allowed to continue to have good weeks. And maybe the good weeks don't have to be followed by a bad week or a bad thing. I don't know, maybe the rule that I've learned was never actually true. And that's the hard thing to like let in when you've been counting the things for so long. And I think about how I've been, proving or holding on too tight or counting. Maybe that wasn't for me, but it was protection. And a version of me that was trying to stay safe in this world where good things have always felt so temporary. And man, I am so, so grateful for that protection because as I've said before, like she got me here to where I am today. But she doesn't get to run the show anymore. Because what I'm doing now just feels so different. It's not about having to prove that I belong here, but it's about filling the shoes of that next level me. And I've been thinking about who she actually is. And it wasn't long ago that I was so afraid to meet her and know who that next level is. But she lets herself live and not hold on until she's earned enough or survived enough or proved enough, but she just does it. She lets herself dream so big, and not like the careful dreaming where you only let yourself dream just enough because you know it is what you can have, or you're pretty sure that you can get there, but like the true version of the life that she wants. And she just embraces the hard parts because she knows that they're just a part of the path. They're not necessarily like evidence that something is wrong or that she did anything wrong, and not the bad thing after the good things. They're just part of it. They're part of the journey. They're part of the story. They're part of the work. And she pushes for the biggest dreams because she decided, truly decided, that she is worth having them. That is her. And she was at my desk last week. She's the one who said both things out loud. And she's already here. She's just learning to trust that she gets to stay. If you count the good things and are waiting for the bad one, I get it. And I just want you to know that that is not weakness. Because at some point in your life, that has been the smart thing, right? It has kept you from being caught off guard. It has kept you from being too open when things do fall apart. But you're allowed to update and change the rules that you've lived by. And you're allowed to feel 4 good things or 5 good things and not start scanning for the bad. You're also allowed to cry when someone says, "Good job," because your body finally feels and believes that it's safe to just feel it. You don't have to prove that you're worth the big dreams. You just have to decide that you are. And then slowly, messy, fast, just let yourself live it. That's truly the best way to go about it. I hope you have the best week, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, the work you're doing in the world is always connected to the work happening within you. And here, we take care of both the woman and the work. I'll see you in the next one.